Hey there, YouTube. What's going on? And welcome back to Alex Invests. Today I wanted to talk about the Very Good Food Company. This is a plant-based meat producer, and it's been just exploding lately. I've got some good charts and info for you guys today, as well as where the stock's headed in the future and whether or not it's a buy now. So stick around and find out. I just wanted to say, if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, so let's get right into it. All right, so you guys know, before we get into the charts, I like to go through some general information as well as some new news that came out on these companies. So on November the 11th, that was last Wednesday, the company came out with a statement saying that they have a new production facility in Vancouver, BC, actually. And this is where they are actually located as a headquarters. Now, before, they had a facility in California, and that facility is obviously still running, but they say that they're going to benefit heavily from having their production facility actually be nearby to where their executive team is and all that. So that's going to be big, and apparently they're going to be able to produce a lot more product in this facility, as well as make it actually quite a bit cheaper to produce. I have myself tried these burgers because I'm actually from Vancouver, British Columbia. So I've tried these burgers and they're not bad. So this new facility in Vancouver has an initial leasehold of 10 years, and they're going to need $3 million in the next year, 12 months, in order to improve the facility in air conditioning and workflow and a bunch of other things, just to get sort of production at an optimal level as to where they need it. So one of their older facilities is actually going to turn into more of an R&D sort of factory now, where they'll do R&D, and they're actually going to open their second restaurant. So this is actually a pretty interesting sort of aspect of this company as well, because you don't see any of the other plant-based meat companies really doing this. Beyond Meat, sure, they partner with some fast food chains for their burgers, but that's pretty much it. They don't have their own restaurant, and neither does Tattooed Chef, which is another plant-based meat company that I'm actually quite long on as well. So maybe I'll do another video on that. But so that is a big differentiator here for the Very Good Food Company, and that should be really good for just marketing and getting the product out there in general. I mean, they're already in 275 retail stores, and that number is just going to increase from here. I have met with the CFO of this company as well, actually, and he made sure not to tell me any information that wasn't already public. But he does seem like a very nice guy, and from what he was telling me, his team is also really good. So I am long on this company, and I do see it going up from here. So let's just look at some of the chart information I have for you guys today. So the first thing I wanted to do with you guys here is just share the year-over-year percentage change in refrigerated plant-based meat and conventional meat sales throughout January 2020 to July 2020. This chart is actually courtesy of Investopedia, so you can thank them for this one. So anyways, in January, we can see a decrease of 3% from conventional fresh meat sales and 140% increase for these plant-based meat alternatives here. And we can see sort of similar data for the rest of the months here, and how much this plant-based meat alternative section has actually been growing lately. In March, April, May, June, July, these are kind of the summer months, right, where more sort of burgers are being sold because they're being cooked on the grill and stuff. And we can see that increase kind of remain as well in the plant-based meat alternatives. July, we did see only a 90% increase here, but I do see sort of around 100% continuing for the rest of the year. And into next year, I also see these numbers being higher, because they're just going to keep growing. I mean, we can compare this really to the EV market as well. If we think about it, it's a new industry that's coming along and will eventually be able to take over the sort of, well, in this case, conventional fresh meat industry. But for EVs, it's similar. It's like they're the electric vehicle companies that are going to be taking over the conventional gas-powered vehicles, if you want to look at it like that. So this is another one of these industries that I think is going to explode in the next 5 years. And based on this information, we can clearly see that. So before we get into the actual chart for Very, I just wanted to show you guys this as well. So the plant-based meal category right now is worth $377 million. And the dollar sales of plant-based meals grew 8% in the past year and 25% over the past 2 years. And I do see this number increasing more and more every year. Probably 2020, I see another 8 to 10% growth in this industry and in these sales here. People are thinking about the environment more, and they realize traditional meat, like especially from beef and stuff, is very bad for the environment. A lot of water is used, a lot of methane goes into the atmosphere and stuff like that. And I think people just realize these days that we can't have that anymore. Another big thing that I see for increase in sales in this industry is that traditional meat is just becoming so much more and more expensive. Like, if you've been to the grocery store, you'll know how expensive like beef is these days, for example. So that's going to be, I think, a big driver in this industry, is that the plant-based meats are actually less expensive these days than traditional meat, I've found. And this is big, and especially because Very Good Foods, it doesn't only produce burgers, it also does sausages and a bunch of other plant-based meats. So it's going to be a big company, and I see this thing growing. All right, guys, so now I just wanted to show you the chart here real quick. This is for the OTC markets, which is the US version of the stock. I'm going to show you guys the Canadian version of the stock too, because this one just opened on the US Stock Exchange recently, right around the 24th of September. And we were still really low here at 1.1. Would have been obviously an insane price to buy in, but you never know, right? So, and then right around October, we see this big run up start to happen. And I'll tell you guys exactly why that is. It's because the Very Good Food Company recently entered into a new distribution agreement with UNFI Canada. And UNFI Canada is a subsidiary of the United Natural Foods Inc., which is the largest publicly traded wholesale distributor in North America. And they basically focus on delivering better, healthier options for food. So that is why we saw this huge run up, because they got a distribution agreement with this massive wholesaler. And again, obviously, big run up. We're going to see a little bit of a drop down here again. I did sell some of my shares right around here because I thought it's a bit overvalued, and I was expecting a drop down. And what do I see for next week? Well, on the 5-day, we already saw last week it came down quite a bit. And I think 2.9 is a pretty good price to get into this stock, as I see this stock in the next 1 to 2 years easily going above $10. For Monday, I might still see a bit of a pullback, so maybe try and get in around 2.8-ish for this stock. I think is a great price, but even here at 2.9, I think we'll see this stock increase a lot, as it's going to be a big player in this industry. I just wanted to quickly look at the Very.cn. So this is the stock on the Canadian Stock Exchange when it originally IPO'd. We see that date here, which was around the 19th of June. So I got into this stock actually right around here at about the dollar mark. So I've got a very good price point for this stock, and I did dollar cost average up quite a little bit to about a 1.4 $1.5 mark here for me. And like I said, right around here I did sell some, but I'm looking to get back into this stock quite heavily once I see a bit more of a drop. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video today. This stock is definitely a buy for me. Institutional investors are starting to pick it up, and bigger players in the industry. So within the next 2 years, I definitely see this stock being around the $10 mark, I have to say. But yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and I'll be uploading another video tomorrow.